What is up, guys? Del Boy here. So on the undercard of Dillian Whyte versus Joseph Parker, we have another heavyweight fight that has just been announced. That fight is between Derek Chisora and Carlos Takam. This is a battle of two smaller heavyweights. Both guys are listed as 6'1.5", so it's evenly matched in terms of size, and it's a good crossroads fight actually. I mean, obviously Carlos Takam is coming off a loss to Anthony Joshua. He controversially got stopped in that fight. He was clearly losing, but I felt the stoppage was premature. So he's coming off a loss. Chisora is also coming off a loss to Agit Kabayel. I felt he looked really bad in that fight. He was outboxed in stages and he looked really flat and well past his best, to be completely honest with you. Since the Kabayel fight, he has actually had a comeback fight at a really low level, which he won by stoppage, but it's hard to tell what he has left in fights like that. You know, you're only going to find out when he steps up a level, and the Takam fight is a very tough fight for Derek Chisora. I feel, looking at both fighters, although Takam has had more fights, and although Takam is older, I actually feel he's fresher. Yes, he's been knocked out a couple of times, once badly against Povetkin, but I still don't feel he's taken the punishment Chisora has. You know, Takam is a lot more defensively sound, and his style to me, you know, kind of equates to a lot more longevity in the sport, whereas Chisora, he's a come forward fighter. You know, he gets hit a lot. He's been on the end of a few beatings now. The Vitaly Klitschko fight, the David Haye fight, the second Tyson Fury fight, even the Dillian Whyte fight, you know, he took a lot of punishment there. You know, throughout his career, he's been taking punishment, and eventually it's going to take its toll. Chisora is 34 now, 8 losses. You know, it really is last chance saloon, and I felt against Kabayel, he looked awful. I felt he looked awful. You know, if Kabayel was a puncher, I don't think Chisora would have got through that fight. But it's an interesting style matchup. We all know what Chisora likes to do. He likes to come forward, look for those overhand shots, look for those hooks, and he likes to apply pressure. He likes to force an uncomfortable pace on his opponent, and he just aims to make it a horrible, tough fight. The problem is, I think that Chisora could be gone. I think we saw the last of him against Dillian Whyte, and even in that fight, he couldn't maintain it. You know, back in the day when Chisora was first on the scene, when he used to come forward, it wasn't just aimless pressure. He was bobbing up and down on his feet. He was moving his head a little bit. You know, he was a lot more dynamic than he is now. You know, these days he just comes forward, very little head movement, slower hands, slower feet, and overall he's just not as effective. So I feel going into this fight, Chisora is clearly not the fighter he was, and that's going to play a big part in this fight. Carlos Takam is a fighter who can do a bit of everything. He can box on the back foot. He's comfortable on the inside. He's defensively sound. So, for example, in the Joseph Parker fight, I felt he'd done a really good job of playing the Chisora role and applying pressure, working up close. And he really gave Joseph Parker a lot of problems. That fight was actually really close. But go to the Povetkin fight, although he lost that fight again, you know, Carlos Takam was doing a very good job of popping that jab, being elusive, keeping it at range. So Carlos Takam is clearly a more well-versed fighter, and I just feel he has a few more tools in the toolbox. And not only that, you know, both of these guys are 6'1.5". However, Carlos Takam has very long arms. You know, his reach is listed as 80.5 inches. Whereas Chisora's is listed as 74 inches. So Carlos Takam has a 6.5 inch reach advantage, and I feel that could play into his hands. You know, Takam to me has quicker hands, quicker feet. He's got better technique, and he's more well versed. So, you know, I feel that Takam, when this is on the outside, he is going to clearly get the better of Chisora. He has superior technique as well as reach. So I can't see Chisora having any success when this is a boxing match. But the issue for Chisora is, you know, even if he pressures Takam and gets up close to him, You know, Takam is, like I said, he's really comfortable on the inside. He's really elusive on the inside, actually. Go back and watch the Joshua fight. When Joshua was up close or at mid-range, he was actually having a really hard time to tag Carlos Takam. And even Joseph Parker, you know, he had some success on the inside, but again, I felt Takam done a really good job of smothering Parker's work without smothering his own. He was always in good positions to throw the shots on the inside, whereas Parker wasn't. So I feel that Carlos Takam is a really, really solid fighter. The only thing for Takam against the elite level guys like Parker, like Joshua, the thing that goes against him is his size, but he's not going to have that issue in this fight. I could actually see this fight being a bit of a stinker, to be honest with you, in terms of the styles. It's not a bad fight on paper by any means, but stylistically I think this one might struggle to gel. We will see though. But I'm pretty confident in picking a Carlos Takam points win. What do you guys think? Peace.